Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. Now, a couple of you have asked recently, since we are in the era of big boxes, if there are any plans or if we will ever see a Giuseppe Sinopoli box. It's a very good question, actually, because there was an earlier one, and I thought we'd go through that one by way of answering this question, because it's not at all... I'm not sure whether we need one or not. Previously, there was this, which was reviewed at ClassicsToday.com, but I'll take us through it again, just to give you a taste. It's a 16 CD in four CD thingies that was released by Universal Italia, Italian Universal. So you can always tell because it has this, sticky, shiny thing the Italian stuff has. I don't know what it's for. Someone has told me once before and I forgot. So please don't tell me again. I'm very happy to have forgotten. Anyway, let's look and see what's in here. And we can take it from there. All right. Of course, you have to get them out of the box. That's always such a... Oh, dear. Okay. I got it. Here they are. All right, so CDs 1 through 4, orchestral works. Are they all orchestral works? Yes, they're all orchestral works. That's it. Well, there's something right there. Okay, so we begin with the Staatskapelle Dresden doing Beethoven's Ninth. Yeah, I mean, that's exciting, and I have to say, it's a very good performance. It really is. It's decent. Then we've got the German Requiem with the Czech Philharmonic and... Lucia Popp and Wolfgang Brendel. A little slow, a little cavernous, not terribly thrilling. Bruckner 4, the Romantic with the Staatskapelle Dresden, the Novak edition. It's a good performance. Not fabulous, but it's good. Bruckner 7 with the Staatskapelle Dresden and Sinopoli. Again, his Bruckner tended to be decent, but not always thrilling. His best recording with the Staatskapelle Dresden was the third, which was marvelous. It was the first one he did. One of the things I noted about Sinopoli as a conductor at the time was that when he started embarking on series, they didn't go too well. He was much better doing single projects where he really nailed it. And otherwise, he could be very, very variable, highly variable. The Philharmonia doing the Tchaikovsky Pathétique and Romeo and Juliet. It's a lovely recording. Really very, very good. Elgar, well, his Elgar was weird. It really was. We've got the Enigma Variations, the Serenade for Strings, and In the South. This was one of his better Elgars. His two symphonies were slow and decadent and really, really fin de siècle. He played everything like it was Salome, like really oily Strauss kind of style, which was very, very odd. But that one wasn't bad. And then we've got, Bruno Maderna, Quadrivium, Aura, and Biogramma. So that's fun. The Maderna stuff, I mean, the music's insane, but the performances are very good. And the Mahler 5. That began his Mahler cycle with the Philharmonia, and it was very good, and it was the best thing in that cycle. Everything else was just, it had its moments, but it was strangely recorded and sloppy and really weird. Number 2 wasn't bad. Number 3, we can go through it, but basically the hothouse flower approach to Mahler was surprisingly ineffective in works such as, the 6th, the 9th, the 7th was a mess with trumpet cracking in the finale. And, oh, gee, what a wreck. Okay, Mendelssohn, the Italian Symphony, Schumann Symphony No. 2. Lovely performances. Very, very good. The Mendelssohn with the Philharmonia was one of his first recordings. It was originally coupled with Schubert's Unfinished. Beautiful, beautiful recordings. They were the ones that put him on the map as a conductor to pay attention to. Mussorgsky, Pictures in an Exhibition. Ravel, Vals Noble with the New York Phil. Very, very good. Excellent, actually. And Ravel Bolero, Daphnis and Chloe Suites, and Debussy La Mer with the Philharmonia. Also quite good. Very atmospheric and coloristic. not linear. He was a chord guy. He really wasn't a line guy, I don't think. Respighi, Pines, Fountains, Festa, New York Phil. These are pretty good and very well recorded too. You know, I saw these live, and I remember the end of the Pines of Rome. Oh my goodness! I mean, you couldn't even hear the tam tam that they were whacking the crap out of. The brass was so loud. It was really very, very exciting. And then we've got, what's this one? Is this the last one already? Yeah, this is the last one already. Schoenberg, Peleus Embellisande and Verclair de Nacht with the Philharmonia. The hothouse flower approach works rather well with this music, although it makes the chromatic sludge of these works even sludgier than it usually is. But they're very beautiful. I mean, it's very beautiful to listen to. Schubert unfinished, and the ninth, because he remade the unfinished with the Staatskapelle Dresden, and then did the ninth. And they're good. They're not like, I think his first unfinished with the Philharmonia was better, to be honest with you. Then his own thing, Lou Salome by himself, which is a sort of modern piece of, modern piece of modernism, but it's a ballet, I'm not mistaken. And I remember hearing it going like, oh, yeah, with the Stuttgart Radio Symphony, then Strauss, Zarathustra, Don Juan, and Salome's Dance of the Seven Veils. His Richard Strauss was slow, but he really got Strauss, and all of his Strauss should be available because it was fun. I mean, yes, Death and Transfiguration was like 2 hours long, but it didn't matter. So that's the stuff. Now, let us answer the original question. Do we need a box of Sinopoli's orchestral stuff? Well, at least this stuff. I would say, no, frankly, we don't. I mean, some of it's very, very good. Some of it was not very good. It was not great in a sense that I would pick and choose. I would love to get all of his Strauss stuff. But more than that, I think the point to make here is that he was at his best as an opera conductor. He really was. He did wonderful opera recordings. Even when the singers weren't so great, the opera recordings are wonderful. It's Electra and Salome. His Strauss is fabulous. It was gorgeous and gorgeously recorded. Wonderfully recorded. His Verdi was just rip-roaring and exciting. Remember that Nabucco? Wow, baby. It just had you, the edge of your seat. So I think we really could use a Sinopoli opera box. I really do. But I am much more on the fence of whether a big box of orchestral stuff really matters. Unfortunately, the way that these things usually operate, the orchestral box, if they do one, would be much more likely because it's cheaper. You don't have all those singers with royalties and things on reissue and whatnot, which is a pity, because Sinopoli was a dynamic and exciting opera conductor. He really, really was. And the orchestral stuff, well, it comes and goes. We'll see what shows up. But for all of you Sinopoli fans out there, and I know there are some, I did want to at least go through this to, first of all, bring his name up again, because since his passing, I mean, his stuff's all deleted. Most of it's deleted, and they don't talk about it very much. So it's good to, I think, keep his name alive, because he was a major conductor. I mean, by any stretch of the imagination, he was a major talent. And see what the best of his stuff was, at least in this thing. And then we'll take it from there. Oh, by the way, the reason I was able to do this, I have to tell you, is because, as I mentioned before, I had a plumbing leak, which necessitated the plumber busting through the wall in my office, and I had to take all my box sets and move them, and they're all sitting in bins in my living room, and it may take a year or two before I put them all back. I don't know. I don't feel like doing it at all, quite frankly. But, this was there. So I pulled it out. It was in the back. I'd even relegated Sinopoli to the nether regions of my collection. So it was good to encounter him. And I saw this and said, somebody mentioned Sinopoli. We really ought to give him some love. So even if we don't like everything he did, he deserves it. So there you go. Keep on listening, friends. Thanks for joining me. Take care.